Hey, this is the World Advice Channel 2. What I want to talk about for this video is the real reason why the black community is failing. So for this video, I will explain the simple reason why our community is so poor. So if you are interested in knowing why we are so poor, as well as what can be done to fix this problem, then watch this video and trust me, you will not be disappointed. So now I mentioned that, let's get started. So when it comes to the real reason why the black community is so poor, for that matter, for the black diaspora specifically is what I'm referring to for this video. Specifically, I'll be using North America as an example since it's the easiest part of the Americas to use an example for. The true reason why we are so poor here in North America is simply due to backwards behaviors, okay? Because the truth of the matter, for communities of people, especially communities of people of color, the biggest way for them to become successful is to set up their own businesses. Because not only do they not have to worry about being mistreated, discriminated against, or screwed over if they have a white person as their boss and so on and so forth, because they run, of course, their own business for that matter, it obviously also as well makes it easier for you to generate a lot of revenue for your specific community because you can hire people who look like you more often and so on and so forth, okay? That is the truth of the matter of why businesses are so important, okay? And mainly, to sum up what I'm trying to get across here, okay? For the point of why businesses are so important for communities of people, specifically of color, and we as black people are exception, is down to the fact that it obviously generates revenue, which obviously, since we live in a money-based world, obviously you want to have as much money, and the more money you have, the more power you have, and so on and so forth, okay? So that's the truth of the matter, okay? So the obvious question that obviously comes up, if businesses are something that the black community needs in order to become successful and do better, why are we not doing well for it? Because anyone can set up a business and work on it. So why are we not succeeding? So the simple answer to that question is simply comes down to the fact that a lot of bullshit happens in the black community, as I'm certain you're aware, okay? And everyone is aware. Even people outside of the black community are aware of it, just that obviously, not unless they're racist, everyone is too scared to say it because they don't want to be considered insensitive, okay? So the truth is, like I was saying before, a lot of bullshit happens, okay? And a lot of this bullshit is backwards belief systems that our community has. Specifically, three main things I realize why people doing businesses that set us, back. Okay, first and foremost is showing up late for things. Because a lot of businesses, for that matter, whether you are doing carpentry, roofing, even pool cleaning, whatever, you get the point. Jobs where you have to go to a place, like head to their house, in other words, in order to do the work. A lot of black people show up late on time for things, okay? Specifically for those type of jobs where they come to you, okay? Which obviously that's stupid because obviously if you have to wait 40 minutes to an hour, let alone more, for that matter. And trust me, man, especially being someone of a Caribbean background, I can tell you, man, okay? When you're with the black community, at least certain aspects of the black community, and just in general the black community, specifically Caribbean, if they show up 40 minutes to an hour late for a business, that's how you know you are lucky. Because sometimes they show up hours late, okay? So in short, it's not a good system, okay? Because the truth of the matter is when you show up late all the fucking time, which a lot of black business owners do, if not most, obviously it's going to create a situation where people are not going to want to work with you. Because why do I want to wait 40 minutes an hour, if I'm lucky, for you to show up when I can hire like an Asian person who is probably going to show up, if anything, 10 to 20 minutes earlier than the actual required date? And that's exactly the reason why the black community fails so much when it comes to, obviously, in this particular, field of work, which is business, okay, for that matter, okay? Business, company, whatever you like to say. Because when it comes to specific part of business. This whole showing up late thing is something that's very common and has been happening for years, let alone decades, and hasn't really stopped. Which obviously, if people are not going to work with black business because they know this stuff is going to happen, then obviously it's going to affect the revenue our community can make. So that's the first thing that we do that's not annoying. At least in the black community, overall speaking, in that regard, because I know I would not do that. So yeah, when it comes to overall speaking, that is the first thing that the black community does that gets in the way. Okay, the second thing that gets in the way is a lack of organization. Sometimes you work with black people, they're not organized, they're showing not only late, like I mentioned before, they don't have the things they're supposed to do, or whether it could be that, like, they're showing up to your place, or you go to them, whatever, they're not organized. Sometimes you go to black restaurants, you ask for food, they didn't start cooking the food, so you have to wait like an hour for them to literally cook the food from scratch or something. Like, these are things that I have actually heard have happened in the black community. They're not organized. They don't have a straight up plan. When you do anything business related, for that matter, you have to have an organized plan. I'm going to do this date, I'm going to do this that date, and all that type of stuff. I'm going to be as organized as possible. I have everything on my mind that I'm going to do, and I plan for it days to weeks in advance before I do it, which a lot of black people do not do. Specifically, of course, black business owners do not do. Okay, so that's my second point. The third point to also mention is the ridiculous amount of overcharging for fucking everything. Now, this one is also very true. They overcharge you for everything. You go to a store and you will literally see a bottle of pop literally anywhere in the world for that matter, let alone North America. It'll be like $2 to $3. You go there, it is like $6. And I wouldn't be surprised if that is actually a reality for some black businesses, okay? They literally charge you too much money. Which when you set up business, you should know how to barter with people. So you obviously can sell things at a reasonable price. Which a lot of them don't do, let alone the fact that a lot of black business owners are greedy. So they obviously overcharge you, things like that, because they feel they're going to get away with it because, oh, you're black, so you're going to support me anyway, which is so fucking stupid and annoying because it gets in the way of our community succeeding. So that's the third thing that they do for that matter, okay? So those are the three main things that they do. There's other things, but those are the three main things that they do, which is actually the reason why the black community is not succeeding, okay, when it comes to business, okay? So that's the three things that is very true and is very annoying, okay? Because, and the truth of the matter is, I just want to add to this as well, is that is the main reason why we are not succeeding as a community. If we were to stop doing those three things, even if a small percentage, let alone a decent percentage for that matter, like 20-30% of black businesses, were to stop doing that shit, we would be doing so much better. And this is the thing I've noticed about the black community in general, okay? A lot of things that are pulling us down are things that are so easy to resolve. It's actually somewhat, if it wasn't real life, would actually be kind of comical, if anything. Most of these things are things that anyone can stop doing. Okay, showing up on time doesn't require that much effort. Being organized does not require that much effort. Simply charging people reasonable prices does not require that much effort. Okay, those are the three things that we as a community are gonna have to stop doing if we want to actually fucking get somewhere. If we were to stop doing these three things, we would be doing miles better. Okay, and that's a simple truth of the matter. That's all we need to do. It has nothing to do with black people being stupid or any of the shit that people say that we are or anything. All it comes down to, for that matter, is us simply stopping doing these freaking things. If we stop doing these three things, we would not be in a situation we are. We are not any dumber than any other community people. Besides, there's people who are high IQ people who are caught all the time smoking, let alone doing hardcore drugs, for that matter. Like, we ain't talking about like weed, we're talking about like crack cocaine, heroin, and all that stuff. But there's a lot of people who are not high IQ who will never be dumb enough to do something that stupid. So in short, this whole notion about intelligence that we've been taught is complete bullshit. Anyone can be intelligent if they are trying and putting an effort to be. Okay? So this whole idea that we're not succeeding because we're stupid is not true. It's these backwards ass belief systems is the reason why we don't get anywhere. It's nothing more, nothing less. For that matter, okay? It's exactly that. So that's all we need to do if we want to succeed and be able to enjoy our lives and have a good life, okay? And that's all we need to do in order for us to succeed so we can live a happy, better life than being mistreated and discriminated against, let alone being at the bottom of society. So anyway, this is my video. This is all to say. I hope you enjoyed it. And just remember, if you like this video and videos like this, remember to thumb this video up and hit the subscribe button. And this is all to say. And simply put, I'm out. So bye.